Well, good afternoon. T.R. Coverson here. I am your host of Masculinity, Blessing or Curse. I come to you every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. with sometimes some very special guests. Today I have a very special guest, but sometimes just to talk about predominantly male issues. I really like this whole goal of, I like to call it the Moses generation, offering some wisdom to the Joshua generation, because I'm 70 years old and I realize that, as Dr. King says, there's a promised land over there. I may not get there with you. So I want to impart the wisdom, the broken promises, the mistakes that I've made to a generation behind me, Joshua. But at the same time, I do recognize that the Joshua generation that we look at is one that grew up with a computer in his hand. So there are a lot of things that Joshua, in turn, could share with the Moses generation. So we want to have that dialogue. Today, however, I have a good friend. I met him a few years ago at a conference. I'm a member, as many of you know, of NSA, National Speakers Association. I'm a member of the Clearwater, Tampa chapter. So it gives you an opportunity to go and hear speakers from all over the world. The gentleman that's here with me, Dr. Paul Jenkins, is the positivity psychologist, and he is going to share with us just a lot of nuggets. So please join us, share with us, give him applause as he comes in. Dr. Paul, tell us a little bit about you, and let's get into this.
I'm feeling the love, TR. I mean, I remember when you and I met at that conference, and there was just something that clicked. And I think it's because we're on the same wavelength when it comes to elevating our brothers and sisters here on the planet.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
And
yes.
You correctly introduced me as the positivity psychologist. And when I started into psychology, TR, that wasn't even a thing. It was traditional psychotherapy. I'm trained as a clinical psychologist. That's what I got my PhD in, clinical psychology. And somewhere along the road, I realized that there's something more. And you see, because unfortunately, the term psychotherapy sounds a little like therapy for psychos. And I say that's unfortunate. I really feel that it is unfortunate because the principles, the powerful principles that are potentially even life-saving, certainly life-enhancing, those principles are available, but if we've got all kinds of taboos and stigmas about talking about it, then it doesn't get to the people who really desperately need it.
Right.
And so I made a switch over to positive psychology because we can vacate some of those stigmas and just get down to business with what the principles are that allow us to create and live a life that we love. That's what I'm passionate about.
Awesome. The thing that often happens in our culture is when we talk about psychiatry or psychologists, etc., it is the wizard behind the curtain. And none of us want to be Toto. None of us want to be the one that goes behind the curtain to see what's going on back there. Because, well, gosh, this is very, very sad to say. When I was a little boy, grew up in Georgia, and there was this idea that you could take people to, and at this time, gosh, I'm so embarrassed to say this, take people to Milledgeville, and I guess they had a mental institution there, and they'd give you $50 for that person. And it was just so, I remember hearing that, but it was such a taboo that no one wanted to be associated with the idea that you needed some mental help. And I'm proud to think of it now that, and I think it happens because a lot of prominent people have come out and said, I needed to get some help for my depression or for my anxiety or et cetera, et cetera. So prominent people are saying it, and now all of a sudden it's cool. How do you address this issue of clearing up the stigma?
You know, if we throw a question out there, what kind of people have mental health issues?
Everybody.
And I got an answer for you too. Yes, everybody. It's the kind of people who have mental health. It's like asking what kind of people get into car accidents.
Right.
Well, the kind that get into cars. Right? It's tempting to say, no, it's just the ones who are really messed up. Yeah. You know, like car accidents, those who are negligent or
drinking,
impaired, right?
Yeah.
Well, who are they going to hit?
Yeah. Oh,
You, me, my wife and kids?
yeah. You're right. Right.
So when we talk about mental health, it's something that all of us have. And we do dental hygiene every day, right?
Right.
What about our mental hygiene?
Right. Wow.
Your brain, your mind is so much more important than your teeth.
Right.
So I think we have to get past the worn out notion that this is just for psychos,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Or embrace the fact that we all are, and then let's just dive in.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important step. And that's the whole reason why I shifted my practice over to positive psychology. Nobody gets a diagnosis, even if they deserve one. I fired all the insurance companies. I won't even talk to them. It's all on that positive end of the spectrum. And I can talk more about that if you want to. But I think, I appreciate where you're going with this, TR, because we've got to get past the guilt, the shame
Yeah.
that we feel when we think we need help. Look, operating the mind is tricky because we're inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay? Think about it this way. If you were inside of a box, okay, you're trapped inside of this box, and there are instructions for getting out of your box printed on the outside of your box. And people are like, no, I'm going to do this myself. Enough.
Oh, that's
I think you'll appreciate this too, because one of my clients told me, I loved this. This man was so wise. He said, Dr. Paul, there's two kinds of people on this planet, and I'm a psychologist. I'm interested. Please reveal.
Tell me.
Yeah. There are those who are humble, and there are those who are about to be.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Can you buy this?
That will work. That will
And
work. That will, yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, that
Hey,
suits
so
anybody.
I am a professional psychologist, okay? And that gets me into trouble all the time because there was a time for me when I learned that very personally. And I went through some personal, economic, financial challenges that dumped me into a bankruptcy. Okay, and I'm already a busy psychologist at this point in my career. My kids are almost ready to leave the house. By now I should be set, right?
Right.
And yet my circumstances had kicked my butt to the point where here I am at the lowest point in my financial life. What do you do when life breaks the psychologist? I should be able to do this myself, right?
You need to see you.
But oh my gosh, I can't. And that's the point. Coaches need coaches.
Yes.
Psychologists need therapists, right? Because we're all human too. And you can't see the instructions from inside of your box.
I like that analogy. Let me go here. As you know, I've told you this before. I have lost two good friends to suicide. And
Yes.
I'll be honest with you, at a certain point, after getting the second one, both of them hit me kind of deeply. I'm the godfather of my friend, the first one. This has been years ago. In fact, I had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. He's now an adult, about to retire from the Marines. But in either case, I remember saying, after I talked to the second one, talked to his widow, and she explained to me that it was suicide, because I thought it was a car accident. He's in his mid-late 40s, and, he was in good health, so I'm just assuming it was a car accident, So I called her to offer my condolences, etc., and, of course, she told me how he passed away, how he died through suicide. And of course, it was like a clouded room. I could not breathe. It was smoke. I did not know what to say. Here I am, a speaker, a preacher, and I am without words. Now, however ill of an expression this may sound, in the back of my mind, I'm saying or asking this question: were we friends? I mean, were we really friends, or was it really just a bromance that we were having? I mean, because if we were friends, why couldn't I know this thing, whatever this thing was? Why weren't we talking about that to try to unravel it? It puzzled me. So I'm on this pilgrimage now. I told you before. I don't want number 3. Getting the key to that door.
Yeah.
To saying, because after a while, guys especially, men know how to perform before their friends. We just talk about your favorite football team or basketball team or your favorite whatever.
The safe stuff.
Yeah, we talk about that guy stuff. And you avoid what this thing really is because we've been taught all our lives. Suck it up. Man up, dude. Man up. And
it's not helping, is it?
It isn't. Because the more dirt you sweep under the rug, the bigger that pile gets. Sooner or later, you're going to trip over that pile. And how can we get through, past this issue of you need to man up and still maintain our man card? Because we still have to be able to get into the man room. But, because I gotta validate my man card. But
the man cave requires it.
The man cave requires it, man. You can't get in here without your man card. You see the dilemma that we have here? I don't know. Your thoughts. There was a lot in there, I guess, but...
There is, and TR, I feel you. There was a period of 18 months where I lost 9 people that I know and love. Some of them were clients, and yes, I'm admitting I love my clients. Yeah. Not the same way I love my wife. But, the Lord told us to love everyone.
Yeah, that'll kick you kicked out of your man cave, that other one. But anyway.
Well, but the 9 people.
Yeah.
Okay? I spoke at a few of those funerals.
Wow.
To suicide. And we're losing far too many people. You asked for a key. If I could hand you the key to that, to unlock that.
Right.
The key, hope, because hope is the number 1 preventative factor for suicide. We know this because hopelessness is the number 1 risk factor. And this happens in religion. It also happens in psychology, where we toss around terms as if we know what they mean.
Right.
We just have hope.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Well, that's not helpful either.
Yeah.
Just be positive.
Right.
Just have faith.
Right.
Enough, right? I mean, that's the trite, fluffy version of something that's actually very powerful when you understand how to operate the equipment of your own mind. And what I'm getting at, so I told you I went through this very difficult period for me. DR, I already had a PhD in clinical psychology. I had a thriving practice. And by thriving, I mean I was busy.
Yeah.
Okay. I hadn't figured out the business model because I had negative cash flow for 2 quarters in a row. You can't sustain that. All right. I do a different kind of math now.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Yeah, Publix does not understand that math.
No, they still want the actual currency. Here's what I learned, and it's something that I knew intellectually, but sometimes the doctor has to be the patient. I had to learn it here, not just here. And what I learned has now turned into a model, and I'll just give you a little visual of this, a model that has saved lives. Okay, now this might not mean a lot to you. I can walk you through it real quick because this is powerful, and it answers that question that you brought up about the key.
Okay.
Okay, so my job as a psychologist is to illuminate the obvious. This is really cool. I get paid to tell people things they already know. But there's a lot of obvious things that are unnoticed. Okay, obvious but unnoticed. Like the feeling of your shirt. Can you feel it now?
Just because you said it, right? I can feel it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, and it's obvious now, but it was unnoticed until I called it to your attention.
Right.
You with me?
Right, right.
Most of what's going on in our mind is in that space. It's obvious but unnoticed. So to explain the model to you, and by the way, I've got a free digital copy of my mini book, Portable Positivity, for anybody who's listening in. If you're listening in right now, you get one of these.
Okay, good.
If you want it.
Okay.
And this will describe the whole model. So I'll come back to that and tell you where you can get it. And we'll put it in the show notes and stuff too. This model shows 2 processes that your brain is constantly doing. You can't turn it off. And to be aware of it puts you into a position of choice. Okay? Awareness precedes choice. Until you see it as a choice, it's not. And you'll just roll with your programming. So let's start with this one. I labeled it evaluation. I invite you to notice something that will be obvious as soon as you see it. Okay?
Okay.
You, my friend, TR,
Yeah.
and you, my friend who are listening in, are constantly judging.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a really judgy word. I use the word evaluation here. Okay, but what I'm getting at is that your brain's job is to keep you safe.
Right. Yeah. I can
And
see
to
that.
prove you right. I mean, both of those get us in trouble all the time. But your brain's job is to keep you safe. And because of that, it has to constantly be judging. All right? Scanning the environment. Is this good or bad? Is this dangerous or safe?
Right.
Is this black or white?
Yeah.
Is this up or down? I mean,
Right.
you're constantly judging things, okay, to keep you safe.
Right.
Now, the word evaluation itself implies comparison with some standard. All right, now, that becomes obvious. Well, let me give you an example. You and I have hung out together in the same room. Am I a tall man?
Yeah, you got a little height on you.
Okay, you seem fairly confident. Would it help if I gave you a little reminder, show you a picture of me? This is
Okay.
in the mini book, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's comparison. Who is that? Kareem?
I'm the one on the right. Okay. This is Mark Eaton. And you might remember
yeah, I
Big
know
Mark. He was
Mark.
part of our NSA chapter. Mark Eaton, he passed away a few years ago, but Mark stands 7'4". I'm 6'2",
Yeah.
TR. I mean, compared to most people, I'm pretty tall. Compared to Mark, I'm a shrimp. So am I a tall man or not?
Yeah,
What I
it's-
invite you to notice,
Relative.
it depends
Yeah.
on who or what you compare me to.
Yeah. If you're an
And you're
NBA
not
player,
wrong.
if you're an NBA player, you're not tall at all.
Yeah, compared to my grandson, who's 1, I'm pretty tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared to Mark Eaton, not so much. Okay, so going to the model, this is so cool. It is what it is.
Okay.
And all that means is things the way they are right now without changing anything. What is your brain doing? It's judging what it is. And to judge it, you have to have a standard to compare it to. Now, on this line, I've put better over here and worse over here. You see
Okay.
that?
Okay.
When you take what it is, whatever it is, okay, so it might be your health, it might be your mental health, it might be your relationship, it might be your finances.
Okay.
You take what it is, the way it is, without changing anything, and you compare it to something better. How are you going to feel about what you got?
You feel bad. You're depressed about it.
Yes.
Yes.
And you just said the word depressed.
Yeah.
This red arrow represents the emotional energy of depression. When our life sucks, and TR, it does suck. Can I say sucks here?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't check.
We're on.
I know, spicy language, right? When we take what it is, whatever it is, and we compare it to something better, we feel worse.
Right.
Easy peasy.
Right.
What happens when we take that same what it is without changing it, and we compare it to something worse? Then how do we feel about what we've got?
Yeah. Now you're grateful.
We feel, yes, my son called me, my oldest son. He's raising 5 of my grandkids out in Chicago. Dad, I have cancer. Okay, cancer.
Wow.
Okay, now, without keeping you in suspense too long, his last set of scans showed no evidence of disease.
Praise
This
God.
is 2
Praise the
years
Lord.
later. Okay, brutal chemotherapy and radiation, surgery. I mean, we did the whole 9 yards. And the treatment has earned its reputation just like the disease has, right?
Yeah, my wife is
But
a 2-time
TR
cancer survivor, so yeah, I'm familiar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so cancer is bad, right?
Right.
Or it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's where my brain went, TR, because as long as I compare cancer to something better like no cancer, I feel worse about it. It's like, crap, this sucks.
Right. Right.
I am a black belt in positivity. Just saying, okay? Because I practice it every day, all day, every day. I'm a master level black belt positivity psychologist, okay?
I love it.
And I heard my brain, I heard my brain do this. When he called me, it was fairly short. Within a half hour, my brain said, okay, well, I'm glad it wasn't Jessie, my daughter-in-law, calling me to say, oh, your son was just killed in an accident out on the freeway. Now, Dad, I have cancer. Okay, Compared to no cancer, that sucks. Compared to, I got to go out there for a funeral, I'll take this, thanks.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't deny the pain. This is where people get into trouble. They're like, well, I'm not just going to pretend everything's peachy. No, that's toxic. We acknowledge the pain, but pain does not equal bad. And when we put ourselves in a different position, okay, if I were to say, okay, you can keep what you got, or we'll get you something worse. Which one do you want?
Okay, I can see that. Now, is that...
I'm good with this, thanks.
Yeah, that sounds like, though, a muscle that you have to intentionally, over time, develop. Because certainly that is not the way we are conditioned naturally to look at things.
Yes, and whether it's natural or not, we're trained, taught, and conditioned and educated to think this is bad.
Yeah.
When really, it's only bad compared to something better.
Yeah.
And compared to something worse, I'll take this, thanks.
And I'll go so far as to say this, the newspaper, the news itself, centers more around the bad things that can happen. You get headlines when there's a 7-car pileup, but if traffic flows smoothly throughout the downtown area, oh yeah, well, nobody's interested. It has to be.
But that doesn't make the news.
It doesn't make the news. So we are conditioned to look for the gory. In fact,
Yes.
I don't know that
bleeds,
they
it
even
leads.
make G-rated movies for people anymore, or maybe for kids. Because there has to be somebody doing or saying something that's a bit risque in order to attract our attention. We're not looking at it at all unless it has some risk involved in it.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Okay, so check this out.
Okay.
If we go back to the model,
All right.
it is what it is.
It is.
And we can get into a whole conversation about whether it's going to make the news or not, because that's only the uncommon stuff.
Right.
But we're tempted, we're kind of trained to think, oh, this is where our world's going. No, the vast majority of people, I'd say just short of everyone, gets up every day and does good things all day long.
Right. Right. And it's never
It doesn't
noticed.
make the news.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the news. That's usual.
Yeah.
See? So awareness precedes choice. And we get to choose our position. Look, we don't always get to choose what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes that lands in our lap. Dad, I've got cancer, bankruptcy, divorce, disease, whatever it is. Just here it is. It is what it is. What's our choice? Our choice is the position we take. What are we going to compare it to?
Absolutely.
And that matters because that creates an energy. This is depression right here.
Right.
This is peace.
Right.
That's how I label this. And the quickest way to get there is gratitude.
Right. I can see
or
that.
what it is.
I can see that.
Okay, now I want to get to the key, and I'll just give you this, and then we can take it as far as you want. We're not done yet. We're going to go to creation mode.
Here we go.
TR, you and I think, share a belief that our divine design makes us creators.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I believe that we are the offspring of the supreme creator.
Absolutely.
What does that make us?
Yes. That makes us creative as well. Yes.
Yeah. And it's not that we can become creators someday.
We are.
We already are.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a puppy is already a dog.
Yeah.
All right, we may be immature. Maybe we piddle on the rug sometimes. But we are creators, so we have to create.
Yes.
Now think about this. We're creating what is to be. What it is, we already got. But what is to be hasn't been created yet.
Right.
So the only thing we can do is imagine.
Right.
All right, and we got a pretty good imagination.
That's the weapons there, man. Imagination, creativity. Those are human weapons. Oh, wow. Yeah, I love that. I've said that often myself. Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? To create anything, you have to imagine it first.
Right. Right.
Nothing just poofs into existence.
Right.
The creator has to imagine it
Right.
and then go move the elements around to match the picture that they create in their head.
Right.
I do full day trainings with sales teams on creation, what it takes.
Yeah.
And there's a whole process there. But go to the feelings. Just go here with me for a minute.
Got it.
You don't know. You don't know what's coming. You got a really good imagination, but you don't know. How you doing next week? You don't know.
Yeah. You don't know. You don't know.
You got something to do with it. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
But you don't know. So all you can do is imagine. Now, TR, what happens when you imagine or predict or expect that what's coming is even worse than what you already have?
Oh, wow.
How do you feel?
Yeah. Well, you can be depressed then. You'll go down the toilet.
Well, let me give you a little clinical distinction here, okay? Because this is depression down here. When we judge our current life and our past life to be bad, that's an energy of depression. When we expect or predict bad things to come, that is anxiety.
Anxiety and worry. Yep. You're absolutely, yep.
Fear, worry, yes, apprehension.
Yep.
That's
Anxiety
the
and
energy
worry,
of
yeah.
this top red arrow.
Because it's
Okay.
dealing with things that haven't happened, that may never happen.
No.
But you're anticipating, you're right, you're imagining that the worst could happen.
And it's
And
all imaginary.
What
'Cause
was
you
that?
don't know what's coming.
The character, we'll never make it. I just know we won't. And yeah, all of those, that's, yeah.
How does that feel?
I think that's one of the Smurfs or something my kids used to do.
So
Yeah.
go the other direction for a minute. What happens emotionally, energetically, when you imagine or predict or expect
Excitement.
that what's coming is even better than what you've already
Yeah,
got?
it's excitement. It's thrilling. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Excitement, anticipation. Listen, hope.
Hope. Got it.
That is hope.
Wow.
You don't get to choose what it is. You get to choose your position relative to what it is. And I just showed you how hope is available on demand by choice. We're losing far too many people, TR.
Yeah. And I think, too, let's see, from a biblical perspective, Paul
You're
writes,
going preacher mode on me, aren't you?
yeah, a little bit of preacher mode, a little bit. Rejoice in the Lord always. Always. And that is that whole idea of wherever you are, your anticipation is God will work through it with you for your good. So it's rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. And so that perpetually keeps you in the gratitude mode. And it also keeps you anticipating that whatever happens is going to be a good thing. Because you know that he holds you in his hands and he is supreme. So nothing gets past him getting to you. God loves you so much that, like any father, nothing's going to happen to my baby. I promise you that. Not if I have anything to do with it. Nothing is going to happen to my baby. So that's, yes. And yet, I think what is helpful is not only that we have that internal mechanism, the model that you showed us in our own minds, but if we can find someone that we trust that is able to look past your veiled curtain to see, no, man, you ain't right. Come on, talk to me. You know, because sometimes, well, let me just say it this way. Sometimes men especially, we're more concerned about being the bud life of the party that you get enough of the liquid courage in you and what have, and you think you man up. And now you're past it, but you really didn't solve it. You brushed it under the rug. And I can see what you're saying in the model, but it's something that we have to practice. It's like working out. You don't go to the gym one day and say, well, I'm strong. It's a constant process that you have to buy into, and it's life-changing. I can see that. Very much so.
It's, you know what? It's akin to learning a language. And I've done this twice, TR. I'm fluent in Finnish. I am now working on Spanish. I wasn't programmed in those languages. I was programmed in English.
Right.
By people who didn't even give me a choice.
Right.
My parents. Right? And English comes so naturally to me. And it's not the right language. It's just the one that I'm used to.
Right. Exactly.
And similarly, if you're used to getting trapped in what I call the negative vortex here of depression and anxiety, that's going to seem right. It's not right. It's just what you're used to.
Right.
Okay, so if you want to switch that up and get into the positivity vector, where you can look at anything, and I'm emphasizing that, any circumstance.
Right.
DR, I've been a psychologist for 30 years. You can't shock me. I've heard some of the darndest crap you can imagine. And it all fits into this model. It doesn't matter what it is. We can always imagine something better. We can always imagine something worse.
Right.
And that means we can put ourselves into a positive position relative to what it is.
Right.
This is powerful, but it's kind of like learning a language. I think you made that point. Whatever you're trained, taught, and educated to do is what your brain is going to tell you. That's default.
And
You can learn this just like you can learn a new language.
Right.
It's going to take some practice.
it does speak to the issue of what you've become programmed and accustomed to. I don't want to go down on this ledge too much. Well, the Bad Bunny thing, it's another language. And I was in Singapore. My daughter, in fact, my grandson, was born in Singapore, and we were there. And while we were there, I think we were in a taxi. No, a friend was driving. Asked me if I wanted to drive. Oh, heck no. Because they drive on the other side.
The wrong side.
See, and I'm careful not to say the wrong side.
I know, but your brain's telling you that.
They drive on the other side. So you think that just because it's the way you've been doing it, that is the right way. It's simply the other way. And maturity allows you to be able to say, let me take a look at what's going on here. In fact, that is often where your creativity and imagination is born. Because all of a sudden, I don't know, I won't even say that. I mean, if you're in China, they'll give you chopsticks to eat with. And it's just frustrating. And I can imagine I'll create something that looks like a spoon just because I can't get enough in my mouth. Just because it's that kind of, you don't sit there in the mess of the depression, anxiety, worry. You don't sit there in it. You embrace, as you say, your God-given gift of creativity, of imagination. Yeah. And I tell people, I was talking to some kids the other day, I don't care who you are, God has blessed you with at least one gift. Your responsibility is to nourish that gift. And if it's a financial thing, then we have a responsibility to nourish the gift that God has given us, and so that it is marketable to the marketplace.
Yeah, which means that it creates value for our fellow humans.
It creates value for someone else, and you get value in return. Because it's a service issue. I mean, if it's a problem for me, then it likely is a problem for other people. And if it is...
many other people.
Yeah. I tell the story, and I don't know if this is true or not, but if you are Mr. Handyman around the house and you got your tools, and anytime something goes wrong, this isn't me for sure. You got your tools going around the house and you're fixing this and you're fixing this, and you take out your screwdriver, and often you strip the screw using your screwdriver. And now you got to try to get that screw out and So a guy comes along and says, just put another line in it, make it a cross instead of just one line. And the screwdriver catches it. And who did that? That was Mr. Phillips that did that. So what do you want to call it? It's a Phillips screwdriver and a Phillips screw. I mean, all you gotta do is put another line, It's just that simple. Put another line in the screw, and now it doesn't strip the screw as easily. And we're using our own creativity, our own imagination to come out of this. And if we can bond on, you have an idea because you came from this culture, and I have an idea I came from this one. And it's my analogy too that I use with, there's this guy walking down the street named Mr. Peanut Butter, and he says, man, I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Over here, coming into this intersection, is this guy named Mr. Clit, and they have this accident. You got your chocolate in my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter in my chocolate. And all of a sudden, we got a Reese's cup, man. And we're both doing well.
Yes.
Well,
and if we open our eyes, like you pointed this out, TR, but I think if we open our eyes, we'll start to see all around us evidence and examples of how it's the problems that we face as humans that lead to the greatest creations and innovations on our planet.
Yes.
It's not a problem to have problems.
Yes.
It's like Captain Jack Sparrow said in Pirates of the Caribbean. He said, having a problem isn't the problem. Thinking that the problem is a problem, now that's the problem.
Yes, that's the problem. The problem with your problem is that you think you shouldn't have problems. That's a problem. Because, where our creativity is born out of our lack, out of our pains. And it's
Or discontent.
That we now engineer our creativity and imagination and start doing it.
Yes.
Powerful.
Hey, TR, I promised earlier that I would give everybody a free digital download of this mini book. This is what describes the model, step by step, in detail. I've got that picture of me with Mark Eaton. It's in there. And all you have to do is remember my name, Dr. Paul Jenkins, spelled with a DR. All right, drpauljenkins.com/T. And I just totally made that up. It's just random. But if you can remember drpauljenkins.com/TR, I'll just put a copy of this right in your inbox. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think
to you.
If I'm not mistaken, you sent me that link, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will just put it in
drop it in the show notes.
And someone just click on it and be able to access it. Does that work?
Yes. Especially if you can't remember drpauljenkins.com/TR. Yeah, that's my gift. I think, you know what? This saves lives.
Yeah.
I mean, go back to the model, and I won't spend a long time on this, but maybe just to tie this together.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's all we got.
Right.
I'm not saying it's all we could have. That's what creation mode's all about. But it's all we got.
Right.
We get to make peace with what it is. And that means what it was, what it has been, what it is now. You make peace with it. You get good with your life where it is. And then you move forward and create an amazing upgrade.
Wow.
From here, let's go make this better.
Wow.
Okay, that's what we do as humans.
Right.
If we get stuck here, this is depression, this is anxiety.
Right.
And if my life sucks and it's only going to get worse, let me off.
Wow. Yeah.
That's why we've got too many suicides going on.
Yeah. And I'll throw this in too. It's important to important to appreciate the people that you associate with, because if they are feeding those depression cycles, those worry cycles, anxiety cycles, then it's very easy to get caught up in it, and all of a sudden you have company. And I think someone said it this way, it's a saying that goes, misery loves company. And they said the actual truth of it is misery loves miserable company. Because if you show up as a positive person in a misery-inducted group, they're going to kick you out. They only want miserable people in this group. And it reinforces the depression, the anxiety, the worry. Because there's some people, I think they like talking about things to worry about. And that's not good. Not good.
I think we got some work to do, right?
All right, buddy. Listen, Paul, Dr. Paul, the positivity psychologist. It has been so wonderful to have you on here, man. We'll look forward to having you more.
Always a pleasure.
We will, if there are questions in here, I will reach out to you and get those. We'll answer those in a future session. In the meantime, just thank you from the bottom of my heart that you would come in and share with me today. God bless you, my friend.
You're so welcome.
All right.
And blessings to everyone who's listening.
Yeah. And everyone here, please subscribe. I look forward to talking with you again. We had Dr. Paul here with us today, and we'll have other special guests in the future. God bless. Have a great week.